So today we are very proud and happy that we do have the opportunity to share what we do so far, or did so far at Austria, so on a national level, and we plan to highlight especially the implementation of what we call an OER certificate for the higher education field. And then afterwards, Martin will take over and present what is going on at Graz University of Technology, which might be some sort of a forerunner and early adopter, of course, of OER in Austria. And then I will take over again and will present Unite's a project by Unite, which is a university alliance where we are partner as well, and Aalto is as well partner. Originally, it was planned that our colleague Rubén Vicente-Saez from Aalto would like to take over this presentation, but as it is the case, he's forced to go to a project review by the European Commission, and this is always a very serious and important thing. So I will take over this role today, but it is important, of course, that you know as well that the last presentation will be partly, at least for some of you who work at Aalto, might be an own project as well. So I will start and present the implementation and development of what we call OER certification. So the first about 20 minutes will be my presentation and part. Of course, you will get the presentation and the slides afterwards, and as you can guess, everything is available under an open license. So my presentation is done in my role as an employee for the Forum Neue Medien in der Lehre Austria, which is a network organization. And what I will do today is I will shortly introduce you into the higher education landscape in Austria. I will say something, what is the current role and the development about OER in Austria, so that you have sort of feeling what was already done here, what is available. Then I will concentrate on the development of what we call an OER certificate for higher education, why we do that, why it was supported or is supported by the ministry, and what we reached so far. So Austria is important. It's in the heart of Europe. Sometimes in international conferences, we have to emphasize that we don't have any kangaroos. So we are a country with about 8 million inhabitants. So it's a small country. And you see here how the higher education landscape is more or less built. You see the numbers of universities. We have several kinds. I have seen that in Finland you have as well a sort of University of Applied Science, which we do have in Austria. We have teacher training colleges, also where future teachers are trained. And we have, beside the majority of public universities as well, some private universities, which are usually very small. So in general, most of our students visit public universities with comparable small fees, so which might be an issue because an important argument for OER is always that it costs not so much. Education in our case is more or less for free as well in the field of higher education. So this is not the perfect argument, at least. The current presentation is done for that network organization where nearly, at least a majority of universities is a member, and we concentrate in that network organization to exchange experiences and potential developments in the field of e-learning. So we do that since several years now. So we started before COVID, of course, several years before, and we do have working groups on several topics. For example, Martin founded a working group about open educational resources in the year 2014. So we do, and within the working groups, we just try to figure out what is going on. Important is that that network organization includes all sorts of universities. So it's a unique selling point of that organization is that you can find people from a public university there as well, like from a University of Applied Science. So you have them all in the meetings, which is typically very interesting and special. So concerning the history of OER, and I don't have to emphasize that OER is always meant currently, we always address the current UNESCO definition when we talk about OER, but of course, at the first beginning of OER, these first milestones weren't not always using open license, because Creative Commons was just started in 2005 in Austria, so they weren't not already available when we I guess the most famous OER project in Austria started, which is GeoGebra. If you teach mathematics, you should be aware of that. So you see here some milestones. We had the first international conferences about OER in Austria, and for example, for the first German language, the first MOOC in German language about OER course started as well in 2013. So what is the current situation? So we did some research on that as well in my role at researcher at TU Graz. And I'm not sure if you have a similar system in your country, but what we can do, or what we have in Austria, is that we do have performance agreements from universities and the ministry, which are available for the public as well. These are typically your documents with about 100 pages, something like that. So they are very detailed, and it's the contract between the ministry and the university, what should be done in the next typically time frame of 2 years. And in the current performance agreements, in all, because we did check that, OER is mentioned. So this is really a good story to tell. Then going on a more strategic level as well. So because just naming OER in a performance agreement is of course a good thing, but might not really mean that there's a lot ongoing. 3 of our 22 public universities already published an OER policy, and 4 other sort of universities did that as well. So we do have 7 universities which have already an OER policy published so far. We do have a national platform for MOOCs, which is under open license. You will hear about that from time to time in the presentation. And we do have, and we are happy about that, an open science policy, so a national open science policy where OER is mentioned. As not only mentioned, it says a full paragraph, because this is part of that, which is not always the case if you talk about open science. Compared with the other 2 German-speaking countries, so Germany and Switzerland, we have seen that we might be a step further. We started earlier. We had an earlier start of the Creative Commons chapter, for example. We had the first international conference in Austria and so on. So we feel, at least, or we have seen some evidence that we are a little bit further looking on our direct neighbors, but of course not in an international comparison. I think there we are not worse, not bad, but sure, of course, not the best. We have collected everything which can be described as the current state in a publication, but of course this is only in German available. But for whom it might be is an issue to read something in German, you will find the link on my presentation slides. What we did when we started the idea of implementing an OER certificate, we asked all universities and partners in our working groups on OER why they do OER. And this is the image we collaboratively developed, and what might be of interest, or what you should just see, is that none of the universities directly address OER when we started that project. So they always say, okay, there's no issue to just do OER, but we have some requirements like digital teaching, or requirements concerning open education, so like open practices like e-portfolio approaches, or MOOCs where we need open license materials. And then, of course, universities, especially public funded universities, we're talking about requirements of open science. So they concerning competition, getting some fundings and money, they have to be aware and have competences and knowledge about open license and OER as well, because they want to get these fundings. So this was a landscape description why they are interested in OER. And then, of course, if they start to consider OER, they see a lot more of things that are important, like arguments like sustainability, arguments like reputation, student activation, possibilities for lifelong learnings, because you can reach more people, concerning inclusion, diversity, social impact, third mission, and so on. And I guess that might be similar in your country. So, but I just can describe what is going on here. So now jumping to the project itself. So the background, why and where we were able to implement the OER certificate is the project called Open Education Austria Advanced, which is a project starting in 2020. It will end officially this month. So this will be my last presentation in that role, I guess, as responsible person for that OER certification body. In the framework of the whole project, we did a lot more. So this is only a very small part, the OER certification. My colleagues from the universities, like Martin, as responsible person at TU Graz, for example, developed further their OER repository. We now do have a central repository, so an OER hub, where you can find all these, search all metadata of the related OER repositories from the universities. We offered further education and so on. So OER certification is not the core method. It's only a small thing beside certain other developments that were forced or supported by the Austrian ministry as well. What are the goals and the criteria of this certification? Very generally, we want to promote and show OER activities in higher education, and made these activities visible, and as well the competences related, so by the persons who are part of that. That means as well that we want to show how and what can be done as a university to enhance and foster OER development. And of course, we want to highlight as well where people or organizations are that might be already a step further in the field of OER. Luckily, we didn't have to invent criteria for this certification, because these criteria were already developed in a working group and were published in the year 2015. What we did in the project were nevertheless that we discussed with stakeholders if the criteria are still good and so on, but we didn't change that. So still all the involved people were happy with that. So concerning the OER certificate for the institutions, we have 3 criteria, and each of them can be assessed gradually. So you can only assess one, because typically you do that step by step. The first is that an higher education institution should offer an OER further education and should have something like an OER policy. That OER policy should be explicitly a document, so not only something which is like just there. It should be really a document which is available, which can be read, and so on. There, the university, for example, the rector explains that OER is recommended, that the teachers, lecturers, staff can produce OER, that they are allowed to use an open license, that there is some ideas described, who is responsible for that, if there is a possibility to get support, and so on. The second criteria is that there is a number of people who are competent in the field, and this depends on the number of students. So at least there should be 5, at least concerning this criteria, or 40 for the big universities who show a certain expertise. And then third, you need always a place to publish OER as well. So the availability of an OER repository was seen as a very important third criteria. And all of these 3 criteria can be evaluated gradually, so step by step. There's no need to fulfill all 3 at a certain time. Concerning that OER certification of people or staff, there are as well the criteria described, which is that the further education is pretty intensive and long. 1 ECTS means about 25 hours, which is really an issue and a challenge as well if you consider how much time a typical professor or teacher invest in higher didactics or teaching issues. So this is really tricky to get these people on board with such a further education training. And it was seen that it's very important that the people have concrete experiences in publication of OER. So 3 OERs are part of that criteria if you or somebody would like to get that OER certificate for people. Yeah, what we did and how we implemented these criteria, these certifications. This is our time plan. So you see, and I said already, the project is nearly over, so I can show you as well the results. We discussed about the existing criteria, co-developed with a lot of stakeholders, pilots, developed processes, and so on. For example, you see here as well, we had to decide about titles and design, about materials, how to apply, and processes. And exemplarily, I would like to show you some of these results from the phase of implementation. For example, we just had a look on which OER further educations exist, or some certificates that can be similar to our idea. But practically, there are only a few. For example, the Creative Commons training, which can be is comparable to our certification scheme concerning the people. And you see, we decided here, we have described what openness would as well mean if you want to not only make another certification, but a certification which really fits as well to the topic of open education. So these openness factor should be, of course, implemented in the process itself. So the process should be open. It shouldn't be a business model for our organization. It should be adaptable. Everything should be open licensed as well. Nevertheless, it should be a fair and transparent, efficient sort of showing and applying for this and getting the certificates as well. We as well had to develop the competence framework for these people who will be called now OER practitioner. So this is space for the further educations as well. And you as well see that we established a board, an international independent advisory board. This was important because a lot of us were as well part of a university, the partners in the project itself. So it was very important for us to have external people integrated in the project who are now assessing applications for us. They are all from German-speaking countries, but not directly involved in the project. And these people as well guided and helped us in the implementation and of this project as well. And we are happy that we do have them on board. So now, of course, I'm happy to be able to present the current state. So you can have a look at our homepage, which just displays the procedures, the how-tos, and as well the names of the people who already got the certificate and the names of the universities who already got certified one of these 3 criteria or got the full certificate as well. So this as well is as well very transparent. So you just see, for example, in my background, 143 people already got that certificate, and already 2 universities, and we are very proud that we already have 2 were able to show that they fulfill all 3 criteria. So they already got as well the number of people which were needed to get that certificate. You might wondering how we did that with that training. So how is it organized that a training, also a person who take a certain training gets the certificate? We did it like the following. Higher education institutions can apply to that their concept for an OER training is assessed, and if this training is accredited, then they can just send me the names of the people. We are sure that our colleagues at the universities know what they do. They have an approved concept. And so we have the trust as well if they send us the names of the people that they have really participated, because we have some quality assurance issues applied in all Austrian universities. And then they get as well the OER practitioner certificate. So this is how it works. That means as well that all universities can make trainings, can apply, that they get accredited for that system. And of course, they can as well get some money for trainings and so on. And if you are interested in applying for that accreditation, you can as well have at least check, I think, 6 of 9 of these concepts, because they are available open license as well. So it's not that you have to invent everything from the scratch. It's a lot of things are already there as well, including materials for that courses, of course. So everything is as well, and I think that is, in a way, it is, you might expect that, but of course it's nevertheless always the case. Everything which we developed is under open license as well. So if you are interested in the concept and the ideas, you can just copy and paste and adapt it to your own things. And we would be very happy if you do that, because I think that idea is even better if it's adapted by other organizations, countries, and so on, and if we use similar ideas. So here you can see we started to hand out certificates for peoples in 2022. We now reached a very high number. At least this is our idea. So we expected that 100 might be already a very good number. So we are a little bit surprised that we already reached a lot more. And we see already that this number will rise in the next weeks and months, because we know that there are ongoing trainings and so on. Concerning the number of certificates of universities, you might guess that these numbers are not so high. And this is not only related because we don't have a lot of universities at Austria, but because as well, we just implemented that certificate. And of course, it's not that everyone was waiting for that and already have an OER policy. So what you see here is that seven universities, for example, now have applied for the first criteria, which is that they have an OER policy. And we know that there is no other university in Austria which has already an OER policy but didn't apply it here. So currently, this is a good way as well, and an objective way as well, to monitor what is there in Austria. So we can easily see this is kind of the current state. But of course, we know that at least 3 universities are currently working on that OER policy thing, because they are part of our working groups. So yes, we are happy that we have all people and all universities within that scheme as well, that this is really accepted by the community as well. Yeah, a sort of an outlook. What did we do so far? We got already a further funding. So I personally will not be involved in that further development, because now it won't be in further development. It will be an ongoing issue. So because I was especially interested in the development. So if you contact me in about some weeks, I won't be there anymore, but my colleagues will happily take over this, and of course, my organization, the Forum Neue Medien in der Lehre, is happy to get interested contacts if you are interested in that. We see positive impact on several issues. I already had that. I said that when I presented the slides, and looking on the time, I would just letting you read my slide, but just wanted to emphasize again that if you are interested in adapting that ideas or part of the ideas, this would be really great. And we as well considering to have future European project and that, or other ideas if you are interested in that. So on my slides, will see as well some references, some publication we did on that topic.
Yeah, thank you very much. So also, if you just heard Sandra, she was giving you the overview of Austria as nation, and now we are one of those kind of universities who are investing in open education resources. Maybe we was the first one, and we have done very many different things, and I'm very happy to share that today with you. Yeah, that's the picture is very nice. That's of course AI generated. How the university looks like in 10 years, I don't know. That is how ChatGPT or even Dale as a more or less sees our university in the future. Yeah, but how is OER now growing? My agenda today is I will very shortly introduce you my university. I will show you what is open education resources at my university. What is our policy? You heard there are 7 different policies already out there. What are we doing in the terms of OER training? What is this OER repository? And we also developed plugins. We have the national MOOC platform, imoocs.at, and other OER initiatives I would like to share with you. And finally, I'm also showing you the newest thing. What we are currently doing is measuring the impact of OER for our university. First of all, our university is in the south of Austria. Yeah, so I would say 200 to 300 kilometers in the south of Vienna. So very, very near the border of Slovenia and Croatia. And what you see is we are 3 different campus, of course, where we have all our studies can be done. And we were very happy to have the Unite dialogue a couple of 2 weeks ago. And some of you already have seen some of these buildings. Yeah, our university was founded in 1811, so we have currently 7 faculties, and we are doing there 19 bachelor programs, 16 master programs, doctoral schools. We have about 14,000 students, 4,000 people as staff, lecturers, teachers, and of course administrative staff. And we are really a university of technology. Yeah, that means also in Graz, we have in summary 9 universities. We have also 4 universities, 2 universities of applied sciences, and also universities of teacher education. And we are responsible for the technical stuff. Yeah, so we are really a university of technology and have this kind of field of expertise. It means material science, human biotechnology, information IT, of course, mobility and the sustainable system. And since 2022, we are very happy to be also partner of the European Alliance, Unite. And I'm also leading there the community 2, that means the digital infrastructure. And my former rector, because it was the former rector, also had a very ambitious goal that our university goes climate neutral in 2030. Yeah. Now to OER. So what have we done in the terms of OER? So 2010, we started at our university under, I lead this kind of project, our first open educational project. We did also a first publication in 2011. It was about an OER strategy in the terms of lifelong learning. So first of all, we were concentrating not on the typical programs we have. It was just in some couple of courses in lifelong learning. 2013, I was a co-organizer also of the first German-speaking online course. It was a massive open online course about OER. So it means OER as OER. It was called Course 13. And I think we have 1,500 people in there where we are teaching for the first time really OER for a big, huge mass. 2013, I also launched together with Sandra the book as a book. It's called Lehren und Lernen with Technology. That means that we have done the first school book also completely as open educational resource. And 2013, I also had the idea to launch an online platform. You know, that was the time when OpenEdX and Udacity was coming up and MOOCs overwhelmed the whole world. Then we created also a MOOC platform in our region, Styria here. And our idea was not only to make MOOCs, but also every MOOC must be an open educational resource, so open licensed. And we are doing that till now. Yeah. 2017, we started this national project on open education Austria. So we were a partner on that. And I was also writing this kind of white paper. Sandra told you, for example, 2019, we launched the OER repository at our university. And since 2020, I'm very happy that I have also a policy at my university. Now you may be asking, what is this policy? What is why we are doing that? And this is an official document signed by the presidents. Yeah? And the aims of this document are these 7 goals. So that means, of course, we would like to support the teaching and learning. We would like to have the opportunity for access to free knowledge, of course. We would allow collaboration, promote inclusion, support copyright issues, and so on. The goals why we are supporting as university open education resources. And what we are doing for that, yeah, and that's in this kind of policy, you will find we recommend open education resources to every teacher outside. It's a recommendation. It's not obligatory, but we recommend it. And we say, please use, if possible, the open license CC BY 4.0. Yeah. And then, of course, the people have to be named. Yeah. Then it's clear how everyone can use this teaching material. Yeah. And that's our overall goal, because we have very, very strong copyright issues in Middle Europe. And the idea is that it's completely clear how, as university, we can deal with all the materials of the teachers, what they are producing. Yeah. And the next is, of course, we would like to address the further education, yeah, support, and also we would like to promote an open education repository. And my team, so that means my team, Educational Technology, has to support that. So if anyone is coming to us, for example, who would like to make a learning video or make an app or something like that, then we say, yes, we can support you. But in the end, we have to do an open license on that, because we try to ensure that every student and every teacher can use that afterwards. Yeah. And we have no copyright issues and something like that. And that's the thing. Well, for me, the most important thing of the policy, yeah, because that's the reason I can say, yeah, we are making learning videos, and the learning videos are really open and can be used on my university, on other universities, whatever, and we like to share our knowledge. Yeah, and we also announced finally that we would like to monitor as how is the impact of open education resource at our university. That's the policy as launched and signed by my presidents in 2020. And what steps have been done so far? So the first of all is Sandra told you about the open educational trainings. Yeah, of course, we are also doing these national trainings, and we begin that in 2010 already. And the idea was that it's a part offline. That means also I'm training the people just in 4 hours in a face-to-face setting. Yeah, so it's a first introduction. Then they can, for example, make an online course. This is this kind of MOOC on open education resources. And then they have to also publish, as Sandra mentioned, their own open education resources. We have already trained currently and also certified 25 people at my university. That's since 2022. Also we have also get this national certificate. And that's the reason at our university that we activate some things for those people. So we say you have to make an online this national certification, and when you have done the national certification, you can more or less use the OER repository. So this is the precondition. We have a long discussion as to how we can allow people that they are using the open education repository, because again, there's a copyright problems and we cannot control what people are uploading there, and therefore we say no, we are not controlling people, we are qualifying them. So the idea is just make the qualifying, make the training, you get the national certificate, and afterwards you are able to upload also your stuff in the open educational repository. And this is this open educational resource plugin we developed, as I show you on the next slide. Yeah, and the plugin is the idea that, of course, as teachers are not very happy to say, okay, I'm teaching and then I'm uploading to the repository, I'm describing this metadata or something like that. So it is very much effort on that, and most of the people and teachers say, oh, why should I do that? And therefore, we thought about how we can support this process. Yeah, and the idea was that we develop a plugin for our learning management system. It's a model system, maybe also on your university. And the idea is that we take the information we have about the lecture from the campus management system. We take the information we have from the learning management system, ask the teacher, maybe can you just control this kind of data? Is this correct? Is this the right semester? Is the size correct? Is the title correct? And then just check, and we will upload that for you. And you have not to describe it anymore in more detail. You can do that, but it's not a must. And this kind of plugin is more or less then after the certification, you have access to this plugin, and then you are able to upload all your stuff to the open educational repository at our university. And we have redone this in 2023. That is because we changed also the repository. It's now an Invenio system, and therefore we have also adapted our plugin. It's a Moodle plugin, yeah. That is how our repository looks like. Yeah, so you see, for example, that's also how it is. Just it's an Invenio database. Yeah, so it's very similar to Zenodo or other systems you might know, and that's also how you can search for different kinds of open licensed content. Yeah, this is the plugin. Yeah, the other thing is what I would like to show is our MOOC platform. So it's also not only a platform for massive open online courses, also like Udacity or edX. In the background, it's also again a Moodle system. It's we called it the Austrian or a national MOOC platform because every university in Austria can use that for hosting. So the idea is that we are not acting only as a platform for our university, we are acting as a national MOOC platform, and every university in Austria can for free host their MOOCs here. We are 2013 funded by our university and the University of Graz, so there are two different ones. Nowadays, only we are responsible for that, and all materials in this platform, all courses are Creative Commons licensed. Not perfectly open, but Creative Commons licensed. So you exactly know what you can do. So you can not only just register for free, you can also take and download the materials, and you have an open license and can use it for your own teaching at your own university. And that was the main idea, so that we just have a central platform where we can provide knowledge for the society, but also for other universities, and they can take over this high-end quality content because, video production is very expensive. So, and of course, we are 100% GPNR conform. We are a member of the European MOOC Consortium. That's only those platforms who have a national-wide reachment. Yeah, and we are partner of the so-called MOOC Hub. And the MOOC Hub is the German association on all MOOC platforms in the German-speaking area. Yeah, and we expanded from 22 to now to a national platform that funded also by the government of education, science, and research. Yeah. So next slide. Yeah, and afterwards we have also been part of the Open Education Austria project, where we developed this OER certification. And of course, we are not only developing, we are also taking part on that and doing all the issues to get the certificates. And Sandra will take you also talk about our seed funding project, the OER course, after my talk. Yeah, this is the course. Sandra will give you more insights then afterwards. And now, finally, I also would like to talk a little bit about the impact, so how we like to measure the impact of open educational resources. We first of all, we did a literature review. So we try to find out how we can measure the impact of open education resources, because every time our rector or presidents are asking, that seems to be very fine to make all open and the open license, but what is the impact for university? So is there a direct impact, or what can we say about that we are really sharing our knowledge? So we make a literature review, and on this literature review, you can find it also on ResearchGate, where we find some different kind of indicators. Yeah, so it's not, you cannot directly measure that. Yeah, we can say there are many downloads, but I don't know if people are really using it. But there are indicators, and we try to make a so-called report out of that. Yeah, and now we have to do this report every year to see also if this kind of indicators and numbers are growing and going forward, or is there a difference to the year before. And as an example, for example, what I can show you, we, for example, are monitoring our learning videos. That is one of our teachers in electronical engineering. And he, for example, has more than 120,000 views on YouTube, for example. So we really see that this open education resource is on YouTube, and on YouTube we have more than 100,000 views. And for sure, it is a kind of impact, yeah? Because of course, everyone sees the logo of our university, and he addresses that he's teacher at our university. And so everyone can see, and we get very, very many comments also on this video. That is not only a great comment, a great video, but we get also comments, I have a question on that, and something like that. So it seems that we are providing here really good, high quality learning content. And of course, that means that it's a very good impact also for our university. Yeah. 2023, we are focusing our report on the MOOC platform, because also we tried to get also numbers out of that. And there, for example, Sandra also spoke about the performance agreements of our university. So every university in Austria make a performance agreement with the government. And the interesting thing, for example, is that 1/3 of these performance agreements already are mentioning iMOOCs, our MOOC platform, as part of their activities. Yeah, so that means they would like to, they are using the platform for providing content to the public. And on the next slide, you also see that how the involvement is going on. That it means that 50% of our university are also project partners with iMOOC. So that means they have at least one online course already on the platform. 7, also 1/3 of our University of Applied Sciences, and 4 about our teacher educations. Currently no private university, but I have already 3 weeks ago the first talk or meeting also with some private university who is interested to make a MOOC at our platform about diversity, for example. And so you see there's a very broad reachment. And what is not on the slide, what you don't see, you just because you just see what universities are providing. I exactly know also, because we have a so-called EduID authorization. We know that from every university, students are on our platform. So really every university has already learners on our platform who are using the MOOCs. Yeah. And so we can say, okay, we are really acting as a national platform. Yeah, the summary of my short talk is just OER is highly integrated topic and a very big issue concerning the strategic further development, especially of digital transformation of teaching at our university, even if we are thinking we are going to Europe, because the next step for us is also to be part of the European Alliance of Unite, and we would like to share the knowledge. And it would not be possible if this is all copyright issues and something like that. So the very important thing is for us, we are really good making good content, and we like to share the content, and the content can be shared, without any copyright issues and something like that. And that's the reason why we have a very, very strong focus on this open education resources. And then, of course, we also see as a university, because, as University of Technology, we are very often involved in European programs, in European projects, also project with companies. So the movement of open science, also from the European Commission, is very clear. They would like to have that our content is afterwards, in the end of the project, open licensed. Does not mean only the open research data, it does not only mean the open science, but it means also the courses about that, because we should also provide our knowledge, our new knowledge, to the public. And then, of course, we have to provide open education resources. So my teachers are becoming more and more eager to know about all these things, because they have to do that in terms of European Commission projects. And of course, we as a researcher in this topic, and also be very, very active ones, are very happy if this OER movement, because I'm very, very convinced that it's a very good one, and very open to any collaboration, even with you or who would be interested. I guess it was also one of my last slides. There are the references I've spoken about, so you can, of course, just take a look there. And I'm happy to give back to Sandra.
Thanks again. So I will again take over and take over the last presentation for the day, now in my role as well as employee at Graz University of Technology, and as well together, because I think that's very important that Martin is part of that. So he's lead of that project, and Rubén has as well a very important role as a task lead in that project, and would like to now explain or describe what we do as part and members of a European alliance. I guess as if you work at a university, you might be part as well of one of these 46 European alliances currently established within Europe. And within our alliance, we personally, I'm happy that especially Rubén and his colleagues addressed open science issues, and he is as well part of these groups, actively trying to figure out what can be done within an alliance of 9 European universities there. And I will show you what we concretely do in a project on OER. You will again find my slides already online if you want to check them. Just so I'm happy to be able to present you now a project that is called OER Courses from the Unite Alliance. It's a very short project. We call that seed fund project. Some sort of money was spent here to get this seeds implemented in the alliance to do something together over the whole range of all universities. I would like to firstly introduce you to the alliance, then the general project ideas and objectives, project plans, and so on. Then I'm happy to show you the OER MOOC and the OER course, which are part of our offers we will produce and implement in that project, and share as well a short outlook. So the University Alliance has partners from 9 European universities. I make me a little bit on the other side here. It is funded, as all European alliances, by the European Commission. You see that we do have partners as Aalto from Finland, in KTH in Sweden, in Spain as well, UPC, Lisboa, Grenoble in France, Politecnico di Torino in Italy, Wrocław University in Poland, and as well the lead of the alliance, the Technical University in Darmstadt. So many of us, but not all of us, has a sort of technical background. So we have some general universities as well, but many of us has a pure technical perspective. So a lot of engineers are coming together in that alliance. So we especially addressing topics like sustainability and engineering, artificial intelligence within that alliance. And part of that is as well that we want to emphasize and work intensively on the topic of open science as a good base as well for collaboration within European alliance. The background of our idea is very practically. I think this is argumentation you always hear and which is a serious and important one. The UNESCO asked us to foster OER development and so on. And of course, all universities and alliances are as well requested to do something here as well. You might know the UNESCO Open Science recommendation as well, where OER is, of course, as well an important part. So we see that project about OER as well as part of a future open science idea. So we have the idea that there might be something like an open science academy within Unite within the next years, so where all people from all universities can interact, bring the knowledge together, build up competences in the field of open science. And what we plan to do in our current concrete project is that we want to pilot how a certain initiative can be enrolled to bring the people together, first of all, and then to make a sort of competence development, which is not so easy, because if you consider how challenging it is in a single university, you might consider that it's even more challenging if you have a sort of network organization like Unite. Very practically, we as well could directly relate to an open science roadmap that was already there as one of the Unite project results. There were done some recommendations, and at least 2 were directly addressing what we want to do in that project. So the first recommendation 9 said the alliance or Unite universities should promote multilingual open educational resources. So this is what we plan to do with our project. We want to offer a multilingual OER. And then in recommendation 10, there is said that we should open training and open science infrastructures, tools and skills for everyone. This is what we do with offering an MOOC, so a massive open online course about the topic of OER, and of course as OER, because it's simply not possible to talk about OER and don't produce it. More concretely, you see the concrete objectives of our project on the slides. So we, very generally, it's a Unite-wide OER competence development initiative for students and as well for lecturers and other staff as well. So librarians are as well welcomed. We will offer a MOOC about OER for all 9 languages. Oh no, we only have 8 languages, sorry, we have 9 countries, so the MOOC text will apply to all countries, but we only have 8 languages within our consortium, and we will provide an OER course. So we do have a central federated learning management system applied. It is called the Unite Meta Campus, and this is open and very easy to access for all students and people from the universities. And there we will offer an OER course, which is a university course at TU Graz in English. Additionally, we will make an OER capacity training for interested lecturers at TU Graz in June this year. And as I said, it's not only the idea to do something in the field of OER, but the project as well addressed to learn if these ideas, so like a MOOC and a lecture and a capacity training, are good things that we should use as well for future development of what we can see or call an open science academy. And I guess not everything what we do might be fitting to foster open science competence developments, but of course we hope that at least partly that might influence how we can work together in a university alliance. The concrete project plans are displayed on the next slide. So you see we are organized within 3 tasks. So we do have that OER MOOC development and implementation. We do have the OER course implementation, which is accessible for unite people, and the capacity training. And in between, we do have a third task where Rubén is responsible for, where we want to evaluate what we are currently doing and what we will see as a lessons learned that might influence further developments on that idea of an open science academy within our alliances. Concerning the time plan, you see we are currently in March, so you can guess that my colleagues are working on the video production currently. The MOOC versions in nearly all languages are already there. So my colleagues will get an email within the next 2 weeks. Then they can figure out if we implemented everything right. And the start of the MOOC will be pretty soon. So the OER MOOC, which is now a multilingual MOOC, which is not only using our human intelligence, but as well artificial intelligence, is a sort of an adventure. I will tell you in a short why. And we as well have some extended cooperations. So for that certain activity for the OER MOOC, we are not only limited anymore to the partners within our consortium, so the European Alliance. The MOOC is already available for registration, so you will find it at the platform. And of course, I'm very sorry to say that today is our announced maintenance day for the MOOC platform. So currently, if you will click on that link or open it, you will see that my colleagues are working on maintenance issues for today. So I hope that you will have that link in mind. If you just start the next day, tomorrow in the morning, it will be available for you for registration. This MOOC is open to everyone. You just have to register. And then you will find, or you can look for the OER and higher education MOOC. And then you can find, for example, already the descriptions in several languages there. Of course, the MOOC is available under open license, so you are as well invited to just use part of the MOOCs or the whole MOOC within your own networks if you want to. So it's not only an offer to register and do and consume our learning videos, is as well an offer for colleagues within the field to use the materials as a teacher as well. So for teaching issues. Yeah, what you see is and what you know already, that we use the national MOOC platform iMOOCs hosted by TU Graz. So this is nothing new for you, but what I wanted to highlight is that we have all these languages here. You will find on the slide, it's Svenska, not Svenka. So we do have a Swedish version, a Portuguese version, a Polish version, Italian, French, and English international version. And we do have a Catalan version. So the colleagues from Spain, from Barcelona, wanted to have a Catalan version, not a Spain version. And we are proud that we do have 2 additional cooperation partners who did already translations and adaptations as well, because it's not only to adapt the content, you have to as well refer to your national developments, your national OER repositories, your national information when you adapt the MOOC texts and assignments from Indonesia. Mr. Karis is there, already did that translation to Indonesia Bahia. And we do have as well a Turkish version. So hopefully we are really able to reach a lot of people for these different multilingual offers. But how we did that is, this is part of what I already announced as an adventure. When we applied for the funding for that project, we weren't not really aware that it might be already possible. But when we got the okay, we have seen that there is prominent tool available now only for as well users like my very professional colleagues on the video team. So we used HeyGen, or we had the idea to use HeyGen, a video production system using virtual avatars, which can then, which are activated talking heads, and as well is a tool which uses artificial intelligence for automatic translation. And what we did, we produced examples for all partners and asked them if they agree on that we really try to deliver videos in their different languages with our avatars. So Martin and me are talking heads in that. So of course we are not fluent in 9 languages or 10 languages now, but our avatars do that. And yes, it's a sort of an adventure because we know that we will see that, or we already have seen that there are some issues. Pronunciations might be weird, grammar might be weird. So we learned already a lot, which is easy to translate content and which is not so easy to adapt. But it's not that the whole videos are only produced by artificial intelligence. My colleagues are investing a lot of effort and time as well, so that the right backgrounds are there, the right illustrations, which are, of course, as always, to be in a sort of international way, because it would be the effort would be too big to adapt that into each single language as well. Especially because my colleagues like me and Martin are not able to talk all these different languages. So it's a sort of quality assurance issue as well to deliver finally good videos. I guess, I hope at least that you're curious about that videos. And I would like to ask Martin if he's possible to just share the trailer and show it, because in that trailer of that MOOC, you will shortly see how it works, and that we are able, or at least our avatars are able to use several languages.
In unserem Kurs dreht sich alles um
Open Educational Resources.
Sì, si tratta di risorse educative aperte
And the course is available in many languages.
suomen kielellä, também em português
Or po svenska.
jak również polski
This is possible because we use open licenses.
et parce que nous avons de nombreux partenaires.
Yes, all universities from the European Alliance Unite offer the course.
Y fem servir la inteligencia artificial.
Exactly. Artificial intelligence also supports us.
The Open Educational Resources course in all languages is open to all. Welcome to the course.
Thanks a lot. So at least it is a mix of all languages, and hopefully we at least could show, or can show with the trailer, that we really work on that multilingual issue. And of course, we don't have that mix in the MOOC itself. So you will find your own language version of all videos, at least for the partners who agreed on that HeyGen version. We will share in future papers, I guess, that currently in the current version of HeyGen, not all partners were happy with the current translation or pronunciation. So they decided to use the English version and subtitles. So currently this is the case for 2 of our partners. But nevertheless, all others will get people talking in the language of the target groups, which is a nice thing. So the second offer that will be offered as well starting in May is the OER course. So for all of you who are people from Aalto, if you are from Finland or from another partner's university, you are able to join this, because this is only internally for Unite people. offered. But of course, I wanted to explain what is going on there. So we use our federated learning management system for that. It's easy to access it because we use Education, and we will connect, or it is already connect, the iMOOCs platform with our MetaCampus system so that data can be exchanged in the background so that the content is easy accessible for the people who join our course as well if they don't want to register at the iMOOCs platform. And of course, we do not only invite students to that lecture, also it is a university lecture, which is officially part of the offer at TU Graz as well. So you will get one ECTS for that at TU Graz at least, but all staff people, librarians, and as well are invited to take part here. Concerning the time schedules, so you see, and Martin already told about that similar scheme that we typically have an online interactive phase for about 3 hours in that case, where we will introduce the course and OER as a topic. And then we do have as well the need to make the MOOC. So the MOOC is core of our content that will be shared. And then we do have additional consultation hours, and the participants who take part on that course have to show that they uploaded and produced 3 OER. So, and of course, I guess you know, consultation is always very important here because we have a lot of issues with that. And yes, that will be our second offer. You have heard that we have a capacity training as well, which is only internally, so not of interest for, I guess, most of you. But what you will expect, but this is a future thing because we will start that task when we start the MOOC and the course, is the idea that we hopefully will as well share some lessons learned so that we are able to say what worked very well, what worked not as so good as expected. And it might be not a surprise that we as well plan to, not as part of that project, but as researcher at TU Graz, that we plan as well together with our colleagues to make a paper about our experiences with that HeyGent tool, so the artificial support for the production of our learning videos, and how the people who take the course like this or get frustrated or were just happy about funny translations and pronunciations, we will see. So in that third task, which is here integrated as the core idea, so like a sort of next step forward, Rubén he will use what he have already developed with colleagues and the Unite white paper on open science, and will take this as a base and our lessons learned as the experience on that, or first experience on that, on then further develop the idea of an Open Science Academy. Hopefully you are interested in as well the OER course. We hope that you might open the MOOC link tomorrow again, or that you jump to the MetaCampus if you're part of Unite and register there, or contact us if you are interested on the topic or materials very generally. Yes, I'm as well at the end of my presentation, and I hope that we have now enough time for questions. And I guess together with Martin, I'm happy to get your feedback and as well open questions, so that you are happily informed from our side as well. Thanks.